Hello, I'm Natalie, and today I feel that I'm going to be walking through some dangerous territory. Today, I'm going to be discussing Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, singer-songwriter. Taylor Swift, role model, idol. Taylor Swift, an inspiration to so many individuals. Taylor Swift, a human being. Now, I must put a little disclaimer in. I am not signed to a record label. I'm not completely involved in the music industry. I do not know Taylor Swift. I do not know anyone of the Big Machine label group. I can only provide information or my opinion on things that I've observed and what I've, witnessed through the internet. But I can also provide, some insight on how I personally feel about this. I am a singer-songwriter. I'm not signed to a record label, but I do write my own music, and it disturbs me to sit here and think that someone could take away the rights of an artist to their own music, which it's just disturbing. So for those of you that do not know, Taylor Swift released a statement yesterday stating how Big Machine Label Group is essentially not allowing her to perform at the AMAs with her old music. And I'm talking everything before Lover, that entire album set, and also not letting her use her old music in her Netflix special. And she highlights how essentially they wouldn't let her do this because they claim it would be a re-recording of her old music before her due date, is allowed, when she's allowed to re-record that music based on the contracts that she's been signed into. And in response, Big Machine Label Group stated, and I quote, "At no point did we say Taylor could not perform at the AMAs or block her Netflix special. In fact, we do not have the right to keep her from performing live anywhere." Notice how they never mention old music. Notice how they conveniently leave out the fact that Taylor Swift isn't addressing the fact that she can't perform, but the fact that she can't perform the music that she essentially wrote, she created, but they own. Of course they can't prevent her from performing altogether. I mean, she's receiving the Artist of the Decade award, right? She's going to perform new music there, clearly, right, off her Lover album, but she can't perform her old music because she doesn't own it, and they do, and it would be re-recording. And they also claim that she owes them millions of dollars and multiple assets. But that might not be so perfect and true. Obviously, this is like a he said, she said case scenario, but I am very disturbed. How can we let a label group allow a woman to be so deteriorated because they own her music that she wrote and she created? It's not like she didn't write her own music. It's not like she just was a performer of these songs. And even if she was, she almost has a little bit of a right to that because there'd be a personal connection, but she is the songwriter. She is the person who created this music, and she doesn't own her music, unfortunately, because she trusted her label. That's what you do, I guess. You're an artist, and if you build trust with your label, you're going to trust them, which is unfortunate. No matter who you are and what you're getting into, you never actually know what you're going to get into, right? So for those people that claim that she should have read the contract or she knew what she was getting herself into, I think it's a lot more different when it actually plays out. But this is more of an issue than just Taylor Swift's rights. It's artist rights, it's female rights, it's anyone that's been disintegrated, or not disintegrated, but depleted of their own values. It's completely disturbing. And as a songwriter, this just kind of breaks my heart to think that someone could prevent me from using my own music, but I guess they can, right? But they claimed that they never told her she couldn't do this. However, Taylor Swift's representatives revealed that Scott flatly denied the request for both the American Music Awards and Netflix, and that Big Machine owes Taylor Swift $7.9 million in unpaid royalties. Wow. So, do you like how she never even mentioned the fact that they owe her money? But that was something that they brought up in their statement because they're power-driven, money-driven individuals, which I get it. They're an industry. But this is someone's life. This is someone's personal values. This is who they are, and you're just going to change that for money. And in fact, you're not even doing it correctly, because apparently they owe Taylor Swift money. The fine details have not, I guess, been released, but from what I understand is Big Machine's not doing too well right now. And if we think about this, the whole entire reason for them to prohibit her or limit her from using her old music and performing it is based on a money standpoint. If Taylor Swift is able to release music that on her own terms, like what she's going to do in a year, right? That's essentially what's going to happen. They're going to lose so much profit, right? Because fans are no longer going to want to buy from Big Machine Label Group, a label group that does not support their artists. They're going to want to buy from Taylor Swift and what she supports. They're going to invest in her, because that's what you do. You invest in what is good and true. At least you try, right? People try. I think they're scared that they're going to lose all this money, and essentially they also told Taylor Swift that she needs to stop discussing Scott and Scooter, right? Men that have been bullying her, men that essentially make her look manipulative for standing up for herself, because men are allowed to stand up for themselves but women aren't. Like, what kind of mindset is that? Of course they didn't explicitly say that, but what kind of image are they trying to portray here? It's so disturbing. But why should she be prevented from celebrating something so spectacular, right? Taylor did so much for that record label. Without her, they probably would not exist. They would not be known, they would not be successful, they would not be profitable in any way or sense. Because you can't just, you have to have that special sauce, that special ingredient in a recipe to make it perfect, right? And Taylor was that, and she left, and they're probably scared now, right? Because they're profit driven, clearly. And then the most disturbing, another so disgusting factor is that articles are being written saying Taylor claims this, Taylor assumes, Taylor mistakes this. Taylor was wrong. Taylor accuses them of doing this. As she pulls out her receipts, as everyone knows that this label has been hindering her from being the best artist she can be, simply because they're not letting her own her music, right? Because she's female, she's claiming this, she's accusing. It's very funny how in this music industry we watch male artists reveal disgusting and disturbing and totally unacceptable things that they have done, specifically to women. If you've been on Tumblr, you know who I'm talking about, and how they received immense support because they were going through a hard time. And the minute a woman goes up there and she says, I've been wrong and I'm asking for help, which is such a powerful thing. Can we talk about how asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but it's a sign of recognizing that you may not be able to do something alone, and asking for help is not a bad thing. And she goes out and she asks for help, and she says, I'm being wronged and it's not okay, and I need help. And suddenly all those friends that really were there for her, that she helped build up, that she cared about, they're gone. And I'm not going to name names because clearly we don't know what's happening behind closed doors, right? I don't know if people that she brought on tour with her are talking to her privately and showing their support that way, maybe doing the label in a less public way. But then you got her friends like Selena Gomez supporting her publicly, and Halsey, and everyone just that really is willing to speak out about this issue is. And I think that's such a powerful thing, that she's not just doing this for herself but an entire industry, and she's been wronged in a terrible way. And people that rant and rave about loving her, they're just gone. And maybe they're prohibited from speaking because of contracts they have or friends that they have, but when are people going to grow a spine and stop being sheep, right? It's this thing of you fight for what you believe in and is true, and of course we don't know everyone's side. Well, we sort of know two sides of the story, right? But why it's scary to speak out against something. It's scary to stand up, but how can we expect someone to do that for you or for someone else that you know and you not to do it for them? And I get that it's a terrible position, but like, I stand with Taylor, and I'm just like some random teenage girl on the internet, right? But there are so many artists that are standing with her, and it really puts them on this battleground, and they do it so selflessly. And Taylor highlights how the Big Machine label did not help her create the relationship she has with her fans. That was her, because that is her. She's genuine, she's real, and she wants to be treated like a human being and not a product, and that's how it should be. And I get it, the music industry, it is a product, right? The music is a product, but you're still dealing with a human being, and their words are that's who they are. Their songs, that's who they are. It's not like I'm creating tie-dyeing a t-shirt right now and selling it. Like, their words, they're what you feel and their emotions, and they help individuals. And it's so strange how these individuals are so willing to just take that away from someone, or to not speak up when it gets tough, when it gets hard to do so. So I stand with Taylor Swift, and I don't know if I did anything helpful here, or if I even like shared my views correctly. But there's a lot of inappropriate actions going on in this industry, especially towards Taylor Swift, who is such a powerful female figure. And to watch her go, I need help and I'm scared, and this isn't, I'm not winning right now, simply because right now men are preventing her from doing so. It's so sad, and we all know that young girls and boys and a lot of individuals look up to her. And it is such an amazing thing to see that she's not giving up her fight. She's digging her heels into the ground and saying, I'm not going anywhere. Because that's how it should be, and she deserves the rights to her music. It's never going to be a walk in a park for an artist, I don't think. And then you're dealing with a manipulative label, right? That like she probably essentially trusted in the beginning, and I guess they didn't see her as a human, which is disgusting and disturbing and wrong. And I don't, my vocabulary is gone right now because I'm just so flabbergasted at this. But yeah, I stand with Taylor. Do you? I'll see you around. Bye.